welcome. You're watching Explosive Exclusive with me, Meghna Deka, and here's another Times Now mega exclusive coming your way. Well, the NIA probing Kanhaiya Lal's beheading and brutal murder unearthed a deep-rooted indoctrination and a link to Pakistan. The investigations revealed that the accused, Ghaus Mohammed, had gone to Karachi in 2014, visited the extremist organization Dawat-e-Islami. The police are now looking at the links with Sunni outfits with links to even the Muslim Brotherhood. Now, while there have been token condemnations for the incident, Kerala Governor Arif Mohammed, he's questioned the ideology, saying that such radicalization happens in madrassas at a formative age. Openly talking about the enablers, Arif Mohammed has said that children in madrassas are being taught that punishment for blasphemy is beheading.
We feel more concerned about the manifestation of symptoms. When the symptoms come, then we feel worried. But we refuse to take notice of the deeper disease. The question is whether the children are taught the punishment for blasphemy is beheading. And they are being taught in our own institutions. What is put into the mind of the children is that this is the law of God. We should be more concerned about the deeper disease.
Well, in fact, Editor-in-Chief Rahul Shivshankar has spoken to the governor. Listen in to what he had to say in this Mega Times Now exclusive.
Joining us is Kerala Governor Arif Mohammed Khan on a subject that has been exercising just about everyone, from the public to the intelligentsia and, of course, to the political class. We are talking about, of course, the blowback of the beheading of Kanhaiya Lal. Now, Mr. Khan, you have come out and stirred a debate when everyone has been saying that this is a reaction that the Muslim community, its patience is being tested. You have sought to look within, and you have said on this issue of beheading, if somebody who has been indoctrinated from the age of 5 or 6, what they call the Muslim law, which provides for beheading, this law is taught in madrassas. So if they get indoctrinated, influenced by that, if they act accordingly, I think the better course would be to tackle the disease. Sir, why have you spoken about this in this manner?
Rahul ji, I have not spoken like this in this manner now. It was in 2008 when Deoband had organized a conference against terrorism in Delhi. I had written to them, I had welcomed this conference, and I had written to them that you have spoken against terrorism, but what you are teaching as part of your syllabus is something which promotes radicalization. And I had quoted from the books which are on their syllabus. The book says, it says that the destruction of the sword is incurred by infidels, although they be not the first aggressors, as appears from various passages in the sacred writings which are generally received to this effect. And then this is on page 41, volume 2 of the book, which is a part of their syllabus. And on same volume, which deals with jihad, on page 43, and this is not now, this was sometime in January or February of 2008, because I waited for after writing the letter to them and quoting from this book, which is part of their syllabus, many passages from the book. Then I waited for 4 months. I also informed some of the important people. I said, if you won't send me the reply, then I will have no option but to write a piece about it, which some newspaper will carry, and it was carried. So this is not the first time that I am saying so. I had raised this issue in 2008, and then I had written another article in the same month, in which I had quoted a Pakistani clinical psychologist, Dr. Suhail Abbas, who had published a book probing the jihadi mindset. And in his book, which was based on interview of 517 mujahideen who were arrested by the Afghan government and later on handed over to the Pakistan, they were lodged in 2 different jails, and Suhail Abbas had conducted individual interviews with them. And his conclusion in the book was, the name of the book is Probing the Jihadi Mindset. And conclusion was that 90% of these 517 mujahideen, they are direct product of the madrasas, and rest were their sympathizers. So there is some basis, there is some evidence. And then there is another point which bothers me, and that is that the Indian Constitution, earlier it was part of the directive principles, now it is part of the fundamental rights. It is the fundamental right of every child and any child to receive broad-based education till the age of 14. You can't give the child before 14 any specialized education. Now these people, they recruit children ranging from the age of 5 to 6 to 7 and further. And that impressionable age, it is much easier to indoctrinate them, to expose them to radicalization, and to make them instruments of whatever these people feel that this is what has religious merit in it.
Okay, but
so
Mr. Khan, you see the problem.
Declaration of Human Rights also.
No, but you see the problem, because many people, especially in the so-called secular liberal space, will say Arif Mohammed Khan is today putting all madrasa educated children into a box, painting them with the colors of jihad and suggesting that they are all radicalized.
How can they say, this is my book which was published in 2010, it carries both the articles, and this was published in 2010. Each article also gives the date on which it was published in some magazine or newspaper. How can they say that I'm saying saying so today? The date is clearly given, 15 May 2008. The book itself was published in 2010. How can anybody make this irresponsible charge against me?
So there is a civilizational, unfortunately, there's no other way of putting it. There is a civilizational disconnect here, and we are moving towards some sort of a civilizational clash. Because you say that the foundations, the fundamentals speak of beheading as some sort of moral obligation. And if children are indoctrinated in the fundamentals, then automatically they would become soldiers for this kind of obscurantism.
Sir, please do not go by what I say. There is a famous Islamic scholar, Javed Ahmed Ghamdi. People have right to differ with his opinion, but even his opponents do not dispute the fact that he is considered among the top Islamic scholars of the world. Javed Ghamdi has, what I'm going to quote, he has said in an interview, and this is available on YouTube. You can check it. He is saying, and if you allow me, I will use his own words and then translate into English. ये जो दहशत गर्दी इस वक्त नजर आ रही है, इसका सबब वो मजहबी फिक्र, रिलीजियस थॉट है जो मुसलमानों के मदरसों में पढ़ाया जा रहा है, जो उनकी सियासी तहरीकों में सिखाया जा रहा है, वही इसकी वजह है. The terrorism which we are witnessing is the product of religious thought which is being taught in the madrasas and is being preached through Muslim political movements. This is the source of terror activities. This is not what Arif Mohammed Khan is saying. This is what Dr. Javed Ahmed Khan said in 2008. He has given this interview about 3 years back. So it is not only me, there are so many people.
So many are saying today that Muslims have been pushed to the wall. They are feeling embattled because of majoritarianism, and therefore they are losing their patience, their composure in the face of this strong arm tactic, assault on their beliefs, their faiths, their religion. And therefore beheading is a manifestation of this frustration, this sense of alienation. How do you react to them?
These are the arguments. This is the same mindset like that of Jinnah, who had no working relationship with the religion. But he was using the name of religion to further his own political interest. Are you going to this argument, test it on the yardstick of Quran? Quran says nobody can push anybody to the wall. It says whatever good happens to you, it comes from God. And whatever bad happens to you is the earning by your own hands. Quran says, وَتُعِزُّ مَن تَشَاءُ وَتُذِلُّ مَن تَشَاءُ. The honor comes from God, the dishonor comes from God. It all depends on our actions. Holding human beings responsible for your own problems, that is something which goes against the basic teachings of the book. And there was no need for me to quote from the book. I am quoting the book from the book only because they are giving these arguments and posing as if because they are projecting them as Muslim arguments. The Muslim argument cannot be devoid of the teachings of the Quran. How can you hold any other person responsible for your own problems?
But can I ask you, Governor sir, Gustakh Rasool ki ek hi saza sartan se juda, where is this coming from?
No, I was just now explaining that as far as the scripture is concerned, repeatedly it has been said that you will hear many hurtful things from other people. Whenever you have any such encounter, just ignore it and say to them who are saying these things, say peace to you. Kalu salaman, and pass away from there. Ignore them and go away from there. Elsewhere Quran says that repel evil with good. And if you do so, that the person with whom you had the relationship of enmity, he will turn into your intimate, your close friend. This is the Quranic approach. But during the period of the empire, And remember it, don't forget it, that Muslims were the single superpower in the world. They took over the existing two empires, Sassanid Empire and the Byzantine Empire, within 10-12 years after the demise of the Holy Prophet. And they became single superpower. These status continued for next more than 500 years. During that period, maybe some people say 200 years, some people say little later, but during the Abbasi period, these laws were, not only that they were drafted, but they became law of the empire. Even in India, right from 13th century till 1860, this book, which is taught as the Muslim law and which erroneously they call Shariat, because this is not the divine law, this has been written by human beings. So this from 13th century till 1860, even in India, Hidayah was the law. In Turkey, it was law till 1920 when the caliphate was abolished.
So I want to ask you.
Today, fortunately, nowhere, not even in Muslim countries. Yes.
So I want to ask you, sir, if the Quran makes it so clear, then why aren't we seeing more moderate voices such as yours hit the streets in very large numbers with candles or any other means of protest to decry this Taliban-esque brutalizing of people you don't consider your own?
Sir, in 1986, when this issue of triple divorce arose, I, right from my speech in Parliament to press conferences everywhere, I was quoting from Quran. I was quoting even from Hadith. And people who were supporting, or rather who tried to protect the practice of triple divorce, nowhere they quoted from the scripture, from the holy book. But they said that this is the law of God. How many years it took them to change their opinion? 2017, when they filed affidavit in the Supreme Court, they said, yes, this is innovation. And we will try to finish it. So if it took those who are engaged in the task of giving religious education, if it took them 30 years to realize that what they were advocating was an innovation, then you can just imagine about others, because they are not directly. That is the reason why I am talking about the madrasas. Such a committee says only 4% children go there. I say don't accept even 4%, 2% go there. But 99% of the mosques in India are controlled. The pulpit is controlled by those who come out of these madrasas. And the education which they receive there, through their sermons, they convey it in the ordinary Muslim, even those who are educated, because they are not trying to benefit directly from the books. They think this is the religion. So there is no element of surprise in it.
Okay.
And then, yes, just now I had quoted Javed Ghamidi. I would like to quote something more from there. He says that basically there are 4 points which are highlighted in the madrasa education. When they are teaching they erroneously call it Shariat, it is called fiqh, the Muslim law. And he says, again I would like to use his own words, पहली चीज ये है कि अगर दुनिया में कहीं शिर्क होगा, मतलब मुसलमान के अलावा कोई दूसरा है जो जिसको आप इबादत कर रहे हैं उसकी इबादत नहीं कर रहा है, तो वो उसको खत्म करना, उसकी सजा मौत है और ये सजा लागू करने का हमें हक है. और दूसरी बात, ये मैं नहीं कह रहा हूं, ये जावेद अहमद गामदी कह रहे हैं कह रहे हैं दूसरी बात ये सिखाई जाती है कि दुनिया में गैर मुस्लिम सिर्फ इसलिए पैदा हुए हैं कि मुसलमान उनके ऊपर हुकूमत करें। तो ये तो वो तो पाकिस्तानी है, इस्लामिक स्कॉलर हैं, वो ये कह रहे हैं। और आखिर में वो ये कहते हैं कि जब तक ये एजुकेशन जारी रहेगी तब तक ये बात को सोचना भी बंद कर दीजिए कि दुनिया में कहीं शांति स्थापित हो सकती है। ये मैं नहीं कह रहा हूं, मेरे ऊपर इल्जाम लगाना बहुत आसान है। ये जावेद अहमद गामदी कह रहे हैं, जिनके हजारों क्लिप हैं यूट्यूब पर। वो सिर्फ इस्लाम का, वो उनका कहना है कि वो ऑल्टरनेटिव नैरेटिव जो है इस्लाम का, वो बताने की कोशिश करते हैं, जो क्लेरिक से अलग नैरेटिव है।
Well, sir, very illuminating conversation with you as always, Governor Saab. Thank you very much for speaking to Times Now.